conference games of the year, games that you should note on your schedule that are going to be awesome, must watch within the ACC. We got 3 each. Give your 3. You don't have to go too in depth with it, but I'll go to you first, Jake, since you bugged me about it.
I really just I want to touch on these
no,
games. I think they're important. Miami at Florida State. You talked about it earlier, Parks. This one's in week 6. I just feel like the loser of this game, the wheels could come off the wagon pretty early for the loser. I tend to lean that Miami would win that game, but they also got to travel to Tallahassee.
That is in Tallahassee. Okay, I was gonna say, Roth, you got all the good tickets for some good home games for Miami this year, man.
Yeah. Next one, non-con, but SMU at TCU. This is going to be fascinating after Sonny Dykes gets ejected last year. I think it's going to be a good test early to see if, like you talk about new bloods, JP, like this is going to be a good indicator if SMU is actually legit at running it back. And then lastly, kind of use the same team. How about Miami at Pitt, week 14? Could you imagine, Miami sitting there at 10-1, and they got to go to Pitt, and maybe Pitt's had a nice year in the cold, and they got to play a scrungy, tough defense in Pitt. You saw how it happened at Syracuse last year. That's not a layup for Miami. So I think that'd be a fascinating game at the end of the year.
All must watch. I like that list. Let's go to JP. JP, give us your 3 games to watch within the conference.
Yeah, I'm going to go Clemson at Louisville week 12. Obviously, that's pretty self-explanatory. Both those teams are humming. That's late in the year. Going to be a big one to get. Second one, NC State at UNC. This is already huge rivalry in this state. We saw it last year with all the rivalry craziness during Rivalry Week last year. But there's a new element to this. It's always been a little blue-collar NC State versus white-collar UNC. Well, how about you add Bill Belichick as the coach at North Carolina, right?
Cut off hoodie on the white collar hurts.
Yeah, Dave Doran, Belichick that's a good coaching.
I think that's going to be all time. And then the last one is Cal Stanford. Why is this because I think bringing Andrew Luck back in, he wants to run this like an NFL program. This is going to get reinvigorated into Stanford players' heads how big of a game this is. You win and you beat Cal. So that's a big deal for me. That's week 13. So I circle that one, knowing what Wilcox has at Cal and then knowing what Luck wants Stanford to be.
To be like Cal.
Yeah.
Like they want to care. Like they want it. Like Andrew Luck probably wants the same situation where like they want the collective opting out of paying players until they can, like he can get full control of it basically.
That Cal Stanford kind of gives me like the feeling where it could be record wise a similar situation to our UMass Kent State preview, which is coming week 5. Don't you worry about that. But like, it's still a fun game. It's definitely it's a rivalry worth watching. So I love that. My 3 games. Let's start out with Duke, Georgia Tech, week 8 at Georgia Tech. Duke, my wild card team. Georgia Tech, I think that's a big that feels like the Georgia Tech spot where they could drop one and Duke is a team that has done that to teams in the past. So I think that's going to be a fun one to watch. Miami at SMU in week 10 gives SMU fans a chance to
Miami's all over this with big games. So
yeah, they have a tough ass schedule, which is why they're going to lose 5 games, Roth. If things work out and my hot take is incorrect, the SMU fans have a chance to make this one kind of a nationally known, good atmosphere, kind of speak for themselves, for their fan base. And that would be fun. And then to finish, come on, gentlemen. Clemson at Georgia Tech, week 3, early in the season. I mean, we're going to learn a lot about both of those programs, and we have that repeating as the conference title. So massive.
There could be my hot take, except Clemson's my favorite. Like, what if Clemson's 1-2 before September's even over?
And we've talked about that with teams in the past. It's happened. I mean, that's where it could be. So I like those games. Those are 9 notable games within the conference to watch.